And then you have a great spiritual awakening taking place in New York with a businessman. He's calling all these businessmen to come together to pray. It started with him crying out to the Lord, right? And all of a sudden, from that meeting, it spread all over New York, and it started moving all the way to Chicago, to the financial industries of the United States. Businessmen, lay people, churches on fire, because a group of businessmen in New York cried out to the Lord. Now that lasted for like 2 years. That was an economic revival. Well, the stock market, you would say, would go up a little bit. It was great. Most of it happened in the north. It was almost as though God was putting money in the coffers of the northern group, so that something else was about to happen. God was still not satisfied. So here you got the second great awakening. All these people are coming to faith in Christ. The rivers were filled with people getting baptized on Sundays. They couldn't baptize them in the church. They didn't have any room. Great spiritual awakening taking place. So all these folks are saved. And all of a sudden, an economic revival took place. They call it an economic revival because it started with businessmen, and God rewarded them with great business, right? But then all of a sudden, a war breaks out, where Congress, the Senate, all are split behind this issue of taking away my freedoms. If I want to own slaves, that's my choice. And the other one said, no, that's a choice you cannot make. Now we got the federal government jumping into our issues. And so all of a sudden you've got a civil war that takes place. Well, thank God for the revival, right? Thank God for the spiritual awakening, because over 600,000 Americans died, and many of them were believers. Many of them did not agree about the slavery issues, or the federal government getting engaged and saying, this is not right, this is not going to happen. And so the union splits.